Okay, round one, we're on the play, and we'll play first. It's definitely a keep. Good looking hand. Getting a bunch of tokens out and eventually volcanic rushing is obviously the game plan. And having an instant sorcery with the enforcer in hand is also pretty nice. Alright, so land next turn is pretty big. Pretty important to get that land next turn, or else we're kind of out of plays. But it makes me happier we played the 17 lands. No, 2-drop's nice. So this is a big turn for us if we can get a land. Did get the land, so that's pretty awesome news. So I could do a Tarka Efreet, and I can do the Sandstep Outcast, both of which are pretty good options here. I think I'm going to do the Efreet. The thing is, if he doesn't play a creature next turn, Efreet is just out of control good. If he does play a creature that has like 1 toughness, Efreet is still just out of control. So I think we gotta just do this. You could have a morph, which is okay. All right. So I think we just swing with goblins. I don't want to trade my Efreet for the morph, so we just swing goblins. He probably doesn't block. If he does block, it's great for us anyway. I could have swung with the morph too. I just think there's a pretty high shot he wants to trade that off there. I mean, this telegraphs that it's an Atarka Efreet, I will admit. But we're still in like such a good position here in terms of just putting millions of things on the board where I don't think that's that big of a deal. So if we draw land, I play the Enforcer. If we don't draw land, I probably just play the Monk. Another morph, so that's fine. Yeah, it's not worth bathing, so let's just get in. All right. So basically trade a morph, trade a goblin token for a morph, and get a 6/2 on the board, which is good. Better when we have a volcanic rush, but all we've seen is green mana out of our opponent so far, so I'm not exactly sure what that indicates to me. So we can just, I think we just bathe the Sabertooth now while we have the opportunity, and I think we're just going to get in Outcast and Spirit. I don't want to trade my Efreet for a Morph when I have Volcanic Rush in hand. Granted, he could find some removal for it, but still think it's ultimately worth it. It's just too easy of a block for him there. No plays. I'm trying to think what he can unmorph at 6 mana. Certainly not Segmented Croteak. I think we'll just roast it. See what he's got. Alright, well, we'll go for the 2 for 2 here. So we get in 4 points of damage. I don't want him to keep the 6/6, so we basically trade a Roast and a Tarka Efreet for Jamoka's Gift and a Morph. So not the best trade, but at the same time, a Bowmaster is at least, I would say, a fair trade for an Efreet, so not the worst. Not the best either. Can't quite do that, so I guess we just bash in. Alright. I think we actually just play a Dragon Fodder here. The reason being, it just puts tons of creatures on the board. He has to basically play 2 blockers just to live. And if we draw a land, he has to play 3 blockers. Alright. So, opponent is green-white. He just took a long time to get his white online. He's main decking Return to the Earth, which isn't even that good against us, I would say. I would argue pretty bad against us, to tell the truth. I'm trying to think where it would... It's good against pacifism. Alright, thankfully he didn't see the pacifism. So now he may be tempted to take out that Return to the Earth, which we definitely are hoping he does. Other than that, it doesn't hit anything in our deck, I don't think. So, I mean, besides a spirit token. And if he's paying 4 mana to kill spirit token, I would say we're in pretty good shape. 4 mana and a card. So deck played well there. We got a really, we had a great hand, so we had a really nice aggressive start. It does actually appear like Magmatic Chasm could be useful in this match. He only played ground guys or reach guys that whole time. You know, it's something to consider, but I want to see more of his deck before I'm willing to pull the trigger on that. So I think we're just going to keep it the same for now. And Impact, you know, honestly, Impact Trimmers would have been pretty nuts there, that game. He probably would have taken, I don't know, I guess I would have had to play it first, but he would have taken like 6 or 7 damage from it, which is pretty insane. But let's keep it the same for now and try this again. Great looking hand. Very nice looking hand. We get to do turn 2 fodder or aspirant, depending on what he plays, of course. The motivation to do the aspirant is if he plays a 3 toughness guy. That's also interesting that he's playing the Windscarred Crag. He's got some sort of red splash in there. Now I think I actually want to do the Dramoka Warrior. Main reason being we have the Heel Cutter next turn potential for 6 damage, which is pretty huge. Or we could just bathe something he plays instead, which is also fine. No play there is pretty interesting. So now I think I actually want to commit more to the board. I think we're just going to get in for 3 and drop our aspirant. Granted, I could have gotten in for 6, but just building the board presence I think is better. He could also Seismic Rupture me, but that's not going to be the end of the world. It's a 2 for 1, but not a busted one. And at this point, we don't need to commit any more to the board. All right, I'm okay with Conifer Strider here. I think we just swing. He basically just gets to eat a Dramoka Warrior, which is fine. Or he doesn't eat a Dramoka Warrior. That's interesting. I'm going to play Cleric plus Dragon Fodder. This sets me up for a worse Seismic Rupture, but I get to keep a Cleric, which is good. And if I draw a land, I get to do Volcanic Rush, which is, I mean, that's just got to be a win. So Seismic Rupture would be bad, but at least he'd lose his own Conifer Strider, so it would really be like a 2 for 3, which isn't even that bad. If he attacks with Conifer Strider, I'm honestly debating not even blocking, just because of how good Volcanic Rush is with the sheer quantity of tokens we've got. Alright, well, I think he's in pretty enormous trouble now since we can Bathe or Heel Cutter. Much more likely Heel Cutter. Or Volcanic Rush. So I think we probably just win with Volcanic Rush. He could block a 1-power guy. Let's see. Let's say he blocks a 1-power guy. Which is the best he can do defensively against a Volcanic Rush. He's going to take... what? 5, 9, 12, 15. So I think regardless, the right play is Volcanic Rush here. It's just too insane to pass up. And like I said, his best block is on one of our 1-power guys. And if he blocks one of our bigger guys, it just doesn't even matter. All right, he blocked our biggest guy. He's doing all right. So it's just Volcanic Rush here, which is certainly insane. Is it Exacxes? No, a little bit more than Exacxes. All right, well, that was pretty brutal. We had some great turn progressions, so deck played really well for us there. We'll see you in round 2.